You know, when I was younger, I was trying to decide, what do I enjoy doing? And I always enjoyed taking things apart and putting them back together and seeing how they worked. And it didn't always go back together the way I had taken them apart. And some things turned into different things, but I always knew I wanted to do something with my hands. I was in high school. A home was being built down the street, and I started walking through and the home and looking at the plans and trying to figure out what was going on. And so that right there is the start of the love that I have for building. The one-on-one that you have where families are spending the majority of their time in one place. And that is why I enjoy home building so much, is because you're turning a house into a home for someone and making what they want for their family and all their memories to be housed in. We moved to Boise in 2008. I brought my family and 3 children, and we settled here in Meridian. Approached Daniel Fouts and twisted his arm a little bit to be my partner, and I haven't looked back.
My daughter, she was about 10, and they had school off, and we had a little baby, so I took all the older kids with me, so they're driving in the car. My daughter came home and she told my wife, "I finally figured out what Dad does. He just talks on the phone all day."
I have never met a more approachable guy than Daniel Fouts. He is truly one of a kind, whether you're having a great day or you're having a bad day. Dan will always be there for you.
You know, I'm a people pleaser. If you're happy, I'm happy. If you're not happy, I'm not happy either.
It's been great to work alongside him and see all the different emails that come through about how great Dan is. Nobody says anything about me, but everybody loves Dan. The building industry changes so quickly, and so we try to stay on the cutting edge of new products coming out, new means and methods of doing things.
You know, keep learning, keep educating yourself, stay on top of the trends, because people can tell when you've fallen behind. It becomes very obvious.
Before it was popular, we went above and beyond, and we did exterior 2x6 walls so that we could have extra insulation and have the structural steel put in our foundations and our footings and tied in, because we wanted our homes to last if there were ever a natural disaster. Plus, we wanted them to be as efficient as they could be. So we were on that cutting edge. We were the pilot program for the new energy codes back in 2009 here in the valley. We built the homes that were ahead of the time, but are now the standard here in Boise.
So our team at Gardner Homes, obviously start with Matthew. Here's a guy that really cares about you and your family and your kids, and he tries to learn your names. When he came up with the tagline of building community, you know, there's some real meaning behind that.
We have Greg Davis, who runs Davis Group Realty, and he is awesome. He's got a wealth of experience, a wealth of knowledge. He really knows how to read people. He knows when problems will arise, and he's always up front on helping the clients and bridging the gap between the builder and the client so that they know that he's on their side. We have a great designer, Christy, that's been with us for quite some time.
She does all of our finishes and selections and the furniture, the staging. She helps the client from picking paint colors to designing their cabinets, everything in between. She has just a real talent for just bringing it all together, and when it's done, it looks great. We've had clients say, "You know what I like, you know my taste, you can just pick it for me." And they just let her run with it. You know, she's that good, and they trust her. They trust her judgment.
There are so many great builders here in the Treasure Valley, and you really can't go wrong with who you choose. And so we're more competitive with ourselves because we know we can be better. We know that there's still more to learn. And so we're always trying to one-up ourselves and to build a better home, or a more efficient home, or a home that's just a little bit out there, or a little bit pushing our envelope, so that people can truly see what our dream is and what our ideas are in the homes. And as they come through and walk through our parade houses and our model homes, they remember it from the last year. I remember this. You guys, used these lights, or you used that newer tile from Arizona. And so they remember it, so they wanted to come back the next year to see what we were doing. And yeah, it's a catch-22, because sometimes we're shaking our head. What are we gonna do now?
The great part is taking something from just a piece of paper and building it, and at the end of the day, you transform those maybe you call them pipe dreams, those just wishes, those glimpses of something that maybe you saw one day or thought of one day, and all of a sudden it becomes a reality, and now you're living in that house, and you're able to better fit your lifestyle and meet the needs of your family that you couldn't before.
You're really in good hands by the time you walk into our front door to the time you walk into the front door of your home.
We're always going to do what's right in our eyes, the best we know how.
We want to have you in the last best home you'll ever build, right? That'll last a long time.